What's up? I am sweat trainer Kelsey Wells here with Well and Good for your Movement of the Month Club. Now this month is all about focusing on gaining glute strength. Now, today's session, we have a glutes and hamstrings workout for you. 7 exercises. All you're gonna need is, of course, yourself, a workout mat, and a single dumbbell. I'm going to demo all 7 exercises for you right now so that when it's time to work, we can focus and get it going. So, exercise number 1, it's going to be body weight. It's called a good morning. It's a little bit of a fun name, but pretty simple. So you're gonna stand with your feet shoulder width apart, lats engaged behind you, nice proud stance, and you are simply going to hinge at the hips with a slight bend in your knees until your torso is about parallel to the floor and you feel a nice stretch down your posterior chain and back up. So just leaning down and back up. That is a good morning. Now, exercise number 2, standing glute kickback. You are going to be standing on one leg, core nice and strong. A very small range of motion right here for that standing glute kickback. Of course, we'll be doing both sides in the workout. Next exercise, we have our Romanian deadlift, and we are going to do this weighted. So grabbing your dumbbell, you're going to hold one head of the dumbbell firmly in both hands. Your stance is shoulder width apart, engaging those lats behind you. Your core is nice and strong. Again, it's just like the posture of the good morning. You are hinging at the hips, keeping a slight bend in the knees, and back up. So essentially, the RDL is a good morning with weight. Hinging and back to starting position. Now, next exercise, we have our weighted glute bridge. The classic glute bridge, we're just simply putting a weight across our hips. So your core is strong, back is flat against your mat. Instead of having your palms here pressed into your mat, you're of course going to need to hold and secure that weight across your hips. So driving up with a strong core, squeezing those glutes at the top. You should be able to wiggle your toes, anchored with your heels, and back down, squeezing, and back down. Weighted glute bridge. Now, goblet sumo squat. So continuing to use our dumbbell, we're going to hold it in the goblet position, which means one head of the dumbbell like this under your chin. Nice proud stance, good posture. And you're going to squat, driving up through your heels to the starting position. Knees tracking in line with your toes and coming up. You want to make sure you're squatting so that your thighs are about parallel with the floor if you can, driving up through those heels. Next exercise, again with our weight. This is a big strength training session today. Alternating reverse lunge, keeping that weight in the goblet position. So here, feet shoulder width apart, stepping back and together, back and together. You want to make sure your feet stay shoulder width apart through the lunges. And our final of the 7 exercises for this session is a fire hydrant. So we're going to go down on all fours. You want your wrists and your shoulders stacked. You want your knees and your hips in line. Keeping your core nice and strong and your neck in neutral spine, we are going to lift one leg about 30 degrees. You don't want to tilt too much so that your hips get out of alignment. You want to stay nice and steady, out and back in. And of course, we'll be doing both sides. Those are your 7 exercises. We are going to be breaking this down into an activation, which is time-based, 2 supersets, and finish today with 1 60-second burnout. I'm gonna coach you through every step of the way. If you are not yet warmed up, please pause, take a second, do a little bit of cardio, get your heart rate up, get your muscles warm, get ready to work, and we're gonna dive right into it. So activation is our first order of business. This is going to be 2 exercises done consecutively without a break for 3 laps. And instead of rep based, this will be time based. So we're going to do our good mornings and our standing glute kickbacks. I'm going to be keeping time, so finding my timer here for us. Here we go. All right, 30 seconds of each, 3 laps. And starting with that good morning. Hinging at the hips, slight bend in the knees, and back up. This is actually great for mobility as well. Hinging, keeping that slight bend in the knees. You should feel it all down the backs of your thighs and your hamstrings, even down into your calves. Give me one more. Beautiful. Now we're going into the standing glute kickback. Feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna do 15 seconds each side. And other side. This angle might be easier for you to see. Beautiful, and back into those good mornings. And up, hinge, nice, slow and steady. Hinge, pushing those hips back. Don't forget to breathe. Hinge, and center. Beautiful, glute kickbacks. Small range of motion. Steady on that standing leg, core is strong. Other side. You should feel it right here in your standing glute as well. And last round of good mornings. Beautiful, core is strong. Hands behind your head, just leaning, hinging at the hips, pressing back. Breathing throughout. Last round of our activation before we get into that weight training. All right, standing glute kickbacks. Other side. And done. Proud of you. Grab a drink if you need one. Should be nice and warm. Heart rate should be slightly elevated, not too crazy. Taking just about 20-second rest here before we get into our first superset. Now, this Superset 1 is made up of our Romanian deadlifts and our weighted glute bridge. Superset 2 is going to be our goblet sumo squat and our alternate reverse lunge. We are using the dumbbell for all 4 of our superset exercises. This is the meat of this session. These 4 exercises are classic, proven weight training exercises. I love these, especially for building glute strength. So, without further ado, getting into our Romanian deadlift. These are going to be rep-based, so we'll be doing 12 Romanian deadlifts, lying on the ground, safely transferring that weight across our hips, 12 weighted glute bridges. All right, holding one head of the dumbbell, lats engaged behind you, and we're going to hinge at the hips, just like that good morning, but now we have weight. That's 1. 3. You should not feel any pain in your lower back. You should have a nice strong core. 6, we're halfway there. 7, 8, 9, and 3. Only 2 more. 2, and 1. Beautiful. So safely getting down to the ground. Transferring that weight across your lap. Heels firmly planted, going straight into 12 weighted glute bridges. That's 1. Really squeezing at the top. Already halfway done. And 5. Core is strong. 4. 3. Right when you're down, you're back up. 2. Last 1. Beautiful. Well done. Taking a second to breathe. Whew, we have 2 more rounds of that same superset. You should definitely be feeling it at this point. Grab a drink if you need one. About 20 more seconds of rest. Now, something that some people don't understand is that to really build glute strength, it's imperative that you also build hamstring strength. Your hamstrings, of course, insert into your glutes, and it really complements building glute strength to do hamstring exercises. So lots of people think, oh, this exercise is focused on hamstrings and not on glutes, but they really complement each other more than you might think. So glutes and hamstrings is one of my favorite seamless muscle group splits for that reason, and something that I personally have focused on to really grow my own glute strength over the years. All right, 2 more sets of superset 1. That Romanian deadlift is coming up right now, 12 reps. Going through our form checklist. Core is on, lats engaged behind us, proud stance, feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, hinging at the hips, and straight back up. For 12 reps, that's 2, 3, halfway, and 3, come on, so close, 2, last 1, 1. Beautiful, getting straight down into our glute bridges. Get down to the ground nice and safely with that weight. Pull that across your lap, straight up, 1, 2, 3, 4, core is strong, really squeezing, engaging those glutes at the top. And we're halfway. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. It might sound cheesy, but really thinking about the muscles that you are working while you are working them, it actually does make a difference. This has been studied. It's incredible to look into. Mind-muscle connection is really imperative if you want to maximize your time spent training. So really focus in on that as you're going through these motions, especially now that you're familiar with the correct form. Whew. 1 more set of that superset 1. Last set, best set. Getting set for our RDLs with our dumbbell. And 1. So that's halfway. Core remains strong. Neck and neutral spine. And 2, 1. Last set of glute bridges. One, 2, 3, squeeze at the top. That's 6, core is strong, 7, and 3, 2, 1. Well done. That is superset 1 complete. All right, 30-second rest here, and we are going to begin superset number 2. We're still using our weight for both of these next exercises. First being the goblet sumo squat, and second being that alternating reverse lunge. Now, breathing. I know it can feel awkward, especially if you're working out at home and listening along to hear your own breath, but it is imperative that you are breathing hard enough and intentionally enough to hear yourself breathing as you work. So I want you to focus on big inhales and huge exhales. You should hear your breathing as you're exercising. We have about 10 more seconds of this rest period, and I'm going to stand up and get set. So beginning with our goblet sumo squat. For both of these exercises, we are holding our dumbbell in the goblet position. So one head of the dumbbell firmly in both hands, tucked right underneath your chin against your chest, making sure that your lats are engaged behind you. That stance is nice and proud. Taking the goblet sumo squat first for 12 reps. 1, 2, 3, driving up through your heels. 4, core is strong. That's halfway there. And 5. Beautiful. Into our alternating reverse lunge. So I'm gonna go front onto camera so you can see how far apart my feet are and how far apart they remain. So lunging back, keeping my feet about shoulder width apart as I lunge back. That's 4. We're doing 12, 6 per side. And 3. And 1. 30-second rest. Putting my dumbbell down. Taking some deep breaths, getting some fresh air. Inhale and exhale. Now, I want you during your rest periods to make sure that the thoughts you are telling yourself are positive, that they are uplifting. There's something exceptionally powerful and important about our inner dialogue, especially during times of duress in our life and in exercising. So make sure you're meeting yourself here in your workout from positive intent. A few more seconds and we'll get into that superset 2 more times. This is superset 2, round 2, glutes and hamstrings session for movement of the month with Well+Good. Getting that dumbbell in the goblet position. 12 squats in 3, 2. We're gonna pick up the pace here. You guys know the form. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, driving up through the heels. 6, core is strong. 7, and 3, 2, beautiful, into those reverse lunges. Keeping that dumbbell in the goblet position, slight lean forward. Alternating reverse lunge. And this is 9, keep breathing. 10, 2 more, come on. Last rep. Nicely done. Setting that dumbbell down very safely. Brief rest right here, and then we're going to finish Superset 2 strong. One more round of those 2 exercises. You are slaying. I hope you can feel your legs in the best way. By the way, if you are sore tomorrow, if you have some DOMS, which means delayed onset muscle soreness, I want you to stay super hydrated. Consider taking a magnesium salt bath if it's really bad, and do gentle stretches, move through that pain. I know that it can hurt, but those things really, really do help. It's perfectly normal to experience, especially if you're not used to exercising or exercising for a different way for the first time ever or for the first time in a while. All right, let's get into that last round of Superset 2. Goblet sumo squats, and that's 4, 6, halfway there. Driving up through the heels. Last one, come on, push. Keeping that dumbbell right here, stepping straight into our reverse lunge. I know your legs might be jelly, it's okay. You can go at your own pace. Keeping your feet shoulder width apart for stability. So close. 2 more. Beautiful. Superset 2 is complete. Hang with me. We have one more exercise, if you'll recall. Fire hydrants. So we are going down in the kneeling position. I want your shoulders and your wrists stacked. I want your knees and your hips in line. And this one is time under tension based. 60 seconds straight. Let me get this timer on for us. And 60 seconds on the clock. Just opening to about 30 degrees. We're going to be doing 30 seconds per side. Other side. Core is strong. Continue that breathing. Remember, you're not going up high and breaking your hips out of line. Just a slight 30-degree open. And you should really feel that in your glutes, both sides, your working side and your standing side. Final 4 seconds, and 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now, we do need to go into a brief cool down. Let's begin with a glute stretch. This feels so good. Lying on the floor, you're going to cross opposite ankle over knee, and then push on that knee. And you can also bring in your knee to your chest. You should really feel a nice stretch through your glutes. And breathe. I love that feeling of your heartbeat steadying back out. Opposite ankle over knee, press. And pull in. Beautiful. Now, sitting up, I want you to open your legs as wide as feels comfortable, and we are going to stretch our hamstrings. by coming down to center. It's not important how low you go, it's important when you start to feel that stretch. And over to one side. Taking nice deep breaths. And walking over to the other side. Back to center. Now I want you to continue stretching as much as you need, wherever you feel your body particularly needs it. Everyone is going to be individual. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I am Sweat Trainer Kelsey Wells. This is Movement of the Month Club with Well+Good. Please be sure to subscribe for more workouts from them. And of course, you can train with me anytime in the Sweat app or find me on Instagram at Kelsey Wells.